Hello, and welcome back to Tabletop Thoughts. Tonight, I was getting ready to do some pictures for some new minis I'm going to be putting up on my Etsy store. And when I was down here, I thought this would be a good opportunity to show off my little photo studio here, if you want to call it that. Alright, so we're starting right here. This is my little table. I have some lights, as you can see, pointing down at the table to light it up. I think I got the ring light. I think that was Amazon. I'm pretty sure I got the other lights from Temu. Just a fold-up table. That's pretty much where all the magic happens. For the minis, I got these. They're actually collapsible. They're just like little drawers. Open up. And then I have some minis in here that are still separated out, like these are snake people, stuff like that. Not too bad. They're really cheap. I think this one, since I buy so much shit, it was like a penny. But then I have more back here, as you can see. This guy's on wheels here. Let me move him out of the way. And then these other ones open up. I just have like, there's a wizard just happens to be sitting on there. I think before on the channel I showed, since they're like one layer and I can fill in one layer, but some of those minis aren't that tall. So I went into Tinkercad, designed a shelf system. So I could put a shelf inside here so I can use like two layers, so I could use more of the room in here. So pretty much all of the larger minis that aren't characters end up going into one of these. I have two of those, plus this last one I bought. So there's three of them. So all of the minis that you see, the larger ones that go on the table, that's where they kind of get stored. On top of it, I got this at a flea market. It was like $1, part of like a Playmobil. It was ugly. I repainted it, made it look stone. I got rid of it was supposed to be like a drawbridge looking thing. I just made it all look the same. I also have like a castle wall here, and then I 3D printed out some stone walls. So all of those sit up here. And over here in these are some containers. They all snap together. There's a bunch of little knickknacks, wall pieces, dirt rubble, carts, stack earth, pillars, doors, dungeon stuff, room stuff. When I used to Dungeon Master at the gaming cafe, I used to put those in the back of my car, and then basic stuff that you always can use. You know, you just need something to drop down, some pillars. Bam, there's pillars in there. I always have pillars. You know, all the different things you might need. They're all handy. And then the rest of my collection down here. As you can see, Dirty Basement Train channel is not the only person who has like a dirty basement. But I got this off Temu. It's cloth. I mean, there is like a PVC piping that holds it together, but for all I need, like in here, trees. A lot of the trees I've made over the years are all in here. I went over it this last week when I've had some vacation time, cleaned out like a lot of the trees I never used. Some of the initial ones that I made using Black Magic Craft, where you cut up the green scrubbies to make trees. Yeah, I never pull those out anymore. When you're first crafting, that stuff looks good, you know, enough to drop on the table. You have something. When you start having, you know, for a pine tree, I either buy, you know, the Christmas Village pine trees, give them a quick green spritz, kind of cover up some of that snow. Or nowadays, if I want trees, I just 3D print them. See, here's a nice 3D printed tree. Most of my trees are either homemade. Those were bought with Play Store like dinosaurs and that. Come with some of these trees. I mounted them on bases, flocked them. Those were all homemade. These are homemade. These were I use for if you're in a forest and you have people up in the trees. There's like little platforms for them to stand on. And over here is houses. If I remember, I will add a card where I went through all the different houses I made. It shows off better, but I have a couple of things at homes. Some of them are newer that aren't in there, like this guy. The printing goes ever on. They make some really nice stuff. Terrain, the characters. The only thing I wish about their characters is they're a little beefier. They are 28 millimeter scale, but when you're holding a sword, it is like thin. A little bump and it snaps right off. I throw away probably 10% of my minis after I get them off the, either I break them getting them off the supports, or I'll get it off the support, I'll prime it, I'll go to paint it, and you just accidentally bump it, gone. Here's some dwarven stuff. I'm going to be making some more things like this. Some Underdark terrain, but yeah, it's just a bunch of drawers like this. So it's kind of nice, keeps everything from getting dirty, easy to get to. It's right here next to the table, so when I'm setting up to take my, call it glamour shots, for at the end of the week, when I do all the minis and terrain that I painted for the week, I do it right here. If I need a base for them, on top here, all my different UDTs. You know, there's sci-fi, there's swamps, there's ice, standard terrain with double-sided with grass on the other side. Here's all my little squares. Like I made that off of a channel that was called Cavern Creatures Crafting, something like that. Man, I'll have to go back. Really like that channel. He did a lot of stuff for Mutant Crawl Classics and that. And yeah, he just kind of went dark after a while. Like, I have still a lot of YouTube channels, I guess. Here is that Cyclops graveyard train that I made. If I think about it, I'll stick a card up in the corner so you can check out how I made that. If you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe for more content.
In the ruins of a forgotten temple, something watches from the shadows. Across the forest, ancient powers gather within the druid circle. Mix and match terrain and miniatures for limitless stories. Explore detailed terrain and creatures, all ready for your next game night. Bring your tabletop world to life. Shop DM David's Prints on Etsy today.
Some other stuff. And then over here are just basic white shelves. You know, those plastic cheap shelves you get at Walmart. Most of my modern stuff is on here. Those are all extra pieces, junk. Like, wait. Okay, these are the monster ones. I make animals, not monsters, sorry. Animals. Lego people. These are all superheroes. When I was going through and making characters and stuff like that, I was thinking about trying to play, what was the name of it called? Power Legion, I think was the name of it. It was a superhero game. Here's all my hero clicks. You can see I have quite a few. Here's some basic, I think these are mostly goblins and stuff like that. Sci-fi people. I took some of the hero clicks and I started putting them on bases and stuff like that. I was going to use them for Marvel Crisis Protocol, which I actually, here, let me look in here, went out and got sheets. I got the dice for it, I threw in there. I bought the movement markers. Never really played it after all that effort because kind of, you know, COVID hit and everybody stopped doing stuff, so I was going to play with my friends to see if they want to come over. I mean, I couldn't take them to play league play, but over at your house, you could use some hero clicks as long as you got the base sizes right. These are all sci-fi spaceship looking things. This is all like dragons are in this one. There's some more dragons in here. Tons of undead. I bought off eBay. I bought like a bag of like 500 undead. They're a little big scale for using at your table, but you can only just say they're like ogre skeletons, or more likely what I use them for is I chop them up and use them for kit bashing or adding a skull to a train piece. These are all robots. Foam pieces. Lots of foam pieces. If you're ever bored, you want to do something for crafting, but you don't really feel like doing something for crafting, if you have a Proxon, one of these days I'm going to have to do something similar like this with my office where I do all my crafting. But if you ever have a Proxon, which I do, just put something on YouTube or something like that and just sit there and just cut foam blocks, because you never know when you're going to need them. Here's modern day crap, just stuff you buy from the dollar store. Police, army men, fire, ambulance. I got that off of Amazon. It was aliens versus like humans or something like that. Bunch of different aliens. You can use them for kit bashing and that. Whole bunch of lizards and snakes. You can get those little bags at the dollar store. Hey, you pick them up once in a while. I have way too many now, but if you ever need to kit bash something, or when we were playing Tomb of Annihilation, you got those weird creatures. I forget what they're called, but they look like a cheetah with two snakes coming off it. Kind of like a displacer beast, but not really. I just took a cheetah, a couple of small snakes, cut them off, drilled the holes, tapped them, stuck them on there, made my own. Stuff like that is nice for that. Tubes, I got those off of eBay. It's just a bunch of like pipes that you can put together and build your own little train things. That comes in great for if you're making your own like modular sci-fi train. Like this, I used straws, but if you find something, let me see if I have one here. There's one. Yeah, like a tank on the side. Yeah, this guy's seen better days. Unfortunately, my cats got in here and ripped some of the stuff up. But see, there's one of those pipes there. That's what that's nice for. And then all my extra foam board back there, and I have down there is my medium graphics chipboard. Buy it in bulk like Whitelock because it's good for having. Down there, Massive Darkness, awesome miniatures. Played the game a couple of times with my brothers. It's okay, but I have Massive Darkness and Massive Darkness 2, and I bought some of the expansion packs, all of them from Kickstarters. All of those boards that came out for them, along with the Black Plague zombie side, are all in that box. I'm trying to figure out something to do with them because I hate to just like waste them like that. So I was thinking of, I don't know, try to maybe make some kind of encounters or something with them. If you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. And here's just more silly things like villagers. Yeah, I got a few villagers. Bugs up there. I got zombies. Everything else. But this is, whenever you see the pictures I take, they're coming from down here. And then all I do is I come over here, I grab myself a UDT, and then I have a bunch of, excuse me here, backgrounds. Like, this one's a forest. I'll just drop it down, prop it up behind something, and then that'll be in the background. So it'll be a little out of focus because, it's a backdrop. It's not supposed to be in focus. You're supposed to be looking at the miniatures and that in the front, but it's just there so it's not, you're not just looking at that in the background. All right. Well, take care. Keep on gaming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, check out the next video right here. It's packed with more great content. And as always, keep on gaming.